It's St. Patrick's Day! That must mean there's a holiday special going on. Hey, where is every pony?
Hello?
Hey, Anthony. We're doing a St. Patrick's Day special, right?
I'd love to, my dear, but I'm afraid I'm babysitting a friend's beach bowl beach tree house, and it needs watering right now, in fact. So, love to, but can't. Rain check. Bye.
Hello.
Hey, Doc. You want to do a St. Patrick's Day special with me?
Well, what did you have in mind?
Oh, nothing much. Just partaking in the usual holiday festivities. Wearing green, eating corned beef, watching The Quiet Man, and of course drinking copious amounts of alcohol.
As much as I enjoy watching The Quiet Man, I think I'm going to have to pass. I don't drink alcohol.
Hello?
Hey, Dusty. Want to do a holiday special with me today?
Oh, no, sweetie. You know, I got this wicked hangover. March 16th and everything, and it's like, St. Patrick's Day,
St. Patrick's Day is the 17th of March.
Hello? Hello? Hello?
Pink fluffy unicorns dancing on.
Sup?
Silver, you'll want to do a St. Patrick's Day special with me, right?
Oh, sorry, I don't celebrate St. Patrick's Day.
But you're 90% Irish. Grandpa McCluck would be ashamed.
Yeah, you ever ask how great-granddad wound up beer-battered and deep-fried?
I have a feeling I don't want to know.
They never do.
The number you have reached is temporarily out of service. Please hang up and try again later.
You are going down, mother muchacho. Down to... Okay, you know what? It's probably just Isaac. It's not important. Okay, it's probably important. Okay, you know what? Fine. Who is it? This is some bull...
Hello?
Hey, Goldie, want to do a St. Patrick's Day special with me?
Do ponies even celebrate St. Patrick's Day?
No.
Well, how are you supposed to make it pony-related?
Oh, I don't know. I mean, Winter Wrap-Up is close, but I'm not at 3,000 subscribers yet. What else do we associate with St. Patrick's Day? The bringing of Christianity to a druid rural island? The banishment of snakes from Ireland? Oh, who am I kidding? Everybody just uses this holiday as an excuse to get alcohol poisoning. Drinking copious amounts of Guinness and Magners. Hey! We could do Super Speedy Cider Squeezy... Hello? Goldie? Goldie?
Well, I guess no one's going to help me.
Woohoo! St. Patty's Day, alright!
Firebrand? Don't you also hate alcohol?
Yes, blindingly so. But this holiday gives me an excuse to pinch everyone without consequences. And since I'm the only pony analyst that actually wears green on a daily basis, I'm the only one that gets to!
And let me guess, you're gonna be too busy pinching other ponies to help me.
Bingo! Yeah! Oh, happy St. Patrick's Day, Puzzle!
Youch! How does a pony pinch, anyway? Well, fine, I'll do the analysis myself. I'm going to be going over Super Speedy Cider Squeezy 6000. No, I'm not going to review it. That's already been done to death. Rather, I'm going to look at it in a way I don't think anyone has really looked at it before, from the perspective of an Aggie. Yes, I was part of the agricultural college in my undergrad days, and while I was in animal science rather than plant science, and the animal science people didn't really talk much to the plant science people, I think I can remember enough to give a decent perspective on the issue. One thing I have to say right off the bat, I am taking a perspective that equestrian agriculture works in the same manner that our own agriculture does. That is the same climate, same season, same year cycle, all that jazz. So if you've got some complicated headcanon that explains away all this, I'd love to hear it. As is, I got my degree in earth agriculture, and thus that is the only perspective I can base this on. Disclaimers out of the way, let's dive in. Let's start off with problem number 1, the equestrian seasons, or rather the lack thereof. This episode should take place in fall or winter, and Applejack even mentions that cider keeps them afloat in the winter. We'll get to that line later. The problem is that Equestria seems to be in a state of eternal summer. Now, don't get me wrong, I live in California and can completely relate if that is the native climate. However, they have thrown in random bits of other seasons when it is convenient to them. In the apparent one pony year that took place over 3 human years, there were only 2 days in which looked like a little more than a foot of snow was on the ground, Heartswarming Eve and Winter Wrap-Up Day. I didn't even know there was something to wrap up. If it takes that much effort to wrap up winter, then can you at least keep it around for more than 0.5% of the year? In any event, if we are to assume that we are in an early summer or spring, as Fall Weather Friends indicates there is a color palette change during the fall as there is in the human world, then one asks the question, why are the apples ready to be harvested? Apples ripen during the fall and winter. That's why we have things like caramel apples, apple pie, apple cider, and even sparkling apple cider during the fall and winter months. Because apples are everywhere. They are cheap and need to be consumed. So like their orange citrus cousins, they are always found in the cultural celebrations during that time of the year. Why do you think you always have a tangerine at the bottom of your sock every winter? Why do you think orange trees do best in climates that don't get frost during the winter? Because the oranges ripen during the winter, but frost is lethal to them. Apples should not be ready to be harvested during the summer or spring. But my interpretation of weather aside, let's go back to one little line. You know, the afloat during winter line. For the aforementioned reasons, you should be thriving in winter. It's the summer that would be your problem season. You know, when Cherry Jubilee is taking all your business. So the only reason cider should be keeping you afloat during the winter is if cider is your primary output, which is a really stupid idea. Firstly, the apples you are using to make this cider look like Red Delicious, which are not particularly good cider apples, especially alone. They are far better utilized for straight eating, especially since there is far less product loss per serving. It's cheaper for the buyer and the seller. So why, for the love of Celestia, would you utilize most of your farm to cider apples? I know I said apple cider is a common holiday favorite around Christmas and New Year's, so yes, selling cider as a seasonal favorite during the winter is a good idea. However, in a brief show of hands, how many of you have spiced apple cider during the holidays? And how many of you guys have apple pie? Yeah, that's what I thought. Cider shouldn't be keeping them afloat during the winter, it should be a secondary specialty product. But let's for a moment say that what Applejack meant to say was that it kept them afloat during the off-season. I can buy that, make cider, keep it for a bit, sell it during the lull. Yeah, okay. Except apple cider has an incredibly short shelf life, even shorter than apple juice. The only way that would be practical is if the cider were fermented, which it's not. Don't give me that it foamed therefore it's alcoholic malarkey. It takes at least 3 months for cider to ferment, and I ain't seen that happening. So since they're not fermenting it, it can't be kept for a long time, and thus cannot be sold during the off-season. A far more practical solution would be to take the apples you couldn't sell during harvest time, ferment them, and then sell it as a summer cider flavor. I'm not saying a primary cider business can't be successful, but given that we've seen the ponies eating... the ponies must rely on apples for food consumption as well. Plus the addition of Zap Apple Jam and the consistent implication that the apple farm produces most of the food in the town, having a good portion of the trees be cider trees is detrimental for Ponyville, especially since it's implied that there is never enough cider to go around, which doesn't seem to be the issue with the usual apple supply. Even after the vampire fruit bats got to them, Applejack still seemed confident that they had enough produce to feed the town by the end of the episode. So what's the conclusion? Well, clearly the writers didn't think of getting a bachelor's in agricultural science before writing a farm girl. For shame. But what do you guys think? Okay, am I being too nitpicky? Probably. Leave a comment and I will see you later. Brony on, my friends.